Hey guys, this is my 1981 Jeep cj7. I picked it up a little over a year ago and just been making my own changes. What came on it that the owner got were these rims, and I really like them. I think they're by Enki. They don't make them, they're discontinued. I put new tires on it because the tires that were on here when I got it were from 1992. So it kind of showed the date on those. He had an aftermarket bumper, and I put on a factory looking one, but I'm putting a winch on it right now, but still in the process. Right now it's hard to get parts. It is a factory Laredo, and this is factory paint, which is real neat. And so it's got a inline 6 258 with a 4-speed, the SR4 version. And I actually just bought a T5 to put in here. On a lot of forums and everything, it says that the T5 does swap in place of this SR4, because I have a Dana 300 in here, and I guess this bell housing for the transmission will fit with the T5 or T4, which is nice. But yes, this is the SR4, the undesirable transmission. It's just kind of a weird transmission, and it always pops out of second gear. So I put in this center console. I have the original center console, but I put this one in just because I wanted the look of it, and plus it just holds drinks better. The cup holder's in the back just because of the shifter. You open it like this, and the radio is actually right here. I put the radio here. It used to be here, but I transferred it here. I just thought this was a cleaner look. And you can lock it up too once you're done. So here's the original steering wheel. It's kind of cool. My buddy had a Javelin, and this was what was in the Javelin, so they used the same parts, which, you know, AMC. So I thought that was cool. I put a, it's not a CB radio, it's an GSMRS radio. And it works well, I just don't have it hooked up right now. I do have the original clock, and I have repaired it with a quartz clock, because I guess 1981 these came with a factory, the Laredo edition came with a factory clock, but later years they converted it to a quartz clock, so I had to convert it to a quartz kit. I have it, but right now this one works fine. So here are most of the gauges, and I put this AAA floating compass. That was 1965. It was the original one, so I was pretty happy with that. So here are the door trims. You can see they say CJ on here. Original seating. It's starting to, you know, rip apart, but in other words, pretty good. This came with a hardtop. I have the hardtop, but I switched it to this the soft top by Best Top, and it looks killer. I really like the look on it. Looks real good, you know, because back then they had those clips that you'd clip them into, and it was kind of cool. It came with some accessories. It came with these saddlebags that you put on the side. Kind of cool that it came with it, you know. I was looking up different factory things that they did to it, and it had, the reason why there's so many holes here is because it came with a factory tire setup that held 2 jerry cans on each side, and I guess that was a factory option you could get, I'm assuming. I'm not too sure, let me know. But here's the bumpers, the chrome bumpers. It has a I think it's a 15-gallon gas tank. Yeah, 15. It's an aftermarket one. It's out of Idaho. You know, it has a little tow thing, but I doubt you can tow with this, to be honest. Here's the Jeep. And then it came with a factory excuse me. Came with a factory box somebody put in. This is aftermarket, of course, not factory, my bad. But it came with a box that you can store stuff in, so that's pretty neat. I guess in the 80s, it was popular to put CB antennas here. It had a doorknob looking antenna, but I made this bracket and put on the GSMRS. It has a weird looking antenna, but I think it matches now. So this is pretty much all I've been doing. Just kind of working on this, getting it all right, or at least kind of factory looking in some way. The dash is in real good condition, no cracks or anything. There's some holes here that I tried covering up just because the owner that had this, when he bought it originally, had holes there. Factory, this has 72,000 miles. It's pretty good for a CJ7. I have all the documents because smog, you can't roll the numbers back, and it's been smogged all the way up from 81, and so that's the factory miles that it says on every smog check. So it's pretty neat. I'm assuming that's the original. I took the valve cover off, and the engine doesn't look like it has any wear on it, so it looks real good. And so I'll show you the engine right now. Here's the engine. So when I got it, it had a dual battery setup. It was kind of weird, so I made it just a one battery setup, and these are the wires for the winch right now. They're not hooked up, but here's the inline 6, and I replaced the valve cover because those old valve covers just leak. You can see it kind of seeps through here. It's not really leaking. That other one, I mean, it would just leak everywhere. So, and then since this one's a California Jeep, it has a Serpentine Belt, which is neat. All California Jeeps came with the Serpentine Belt like that. And I put the Howe fuel injection on it, and it's been running real good ever since. I had the original carburetor on here, but I couldn't get it to work properly with it. So I put this Howe fuel injection on, and it's been working good. You keep some of the temperature gauges for this one, and then you keep that one for the exhaust, which is nice. And you only use 3 vacuum hoses, you know, out of the whole junk that it came with. I mean, you should have seen this. It had vacuum hoses everywhere and a big old smog pump right here. My dad and I made this bracket because this is where the smog pump went. I need to paint it. So we just got an idler pulley, and made these brackets right here to hold it down in place of the smog pump, and it's worked out really good ever since. But yeah, for the Howe fuel injection, you need to come in here, you need to open all the wires, pull out a bunch of wires you don't need. And I placed the computer underneath the dash. So yeah, this is the inline 6 with the SR4, which I will be replacing very soon. So here's a little demonstration of it starting up. Real nice, just one click. As you can see, all the gauges are working. I had to replace this one. That one's not original. But other than that, they're all working. Even the fuel gauge works right here. The RPM works. I have the original clock, like I said, but it's out of the Jeep right now. I bought this one for the meantime. The original one I had to replace, like I said. So I figured it out. I just need to put it back in here. Lights work. It's a nice Jeep. So that's my 1981 Jeep CJ7, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.